Well, good morning. You know, today is a glorious day the Lord has made because it's going to storm. So, you know me and my excitement every time I make a quiche. Well, that's what we're going to have today. If you're tired of seeing me make a quiche, then I guess just don't watch. That's all I know. But it's a good thing for Mother and I because it's easy for me to get it done, get it over with, and go on to the next thing of my day. So I know y'all understand how it is when you're a caregiver. I can't believe Mother's gonna be 93 on tomorrow. Okay, I'm just gonna chop a few onions today. These garden fresh onions. Get this in the oven because then I can go on my day. Just going to chop a little bit. Put them in my bowl. I could get a chopping mat. It would save me time. Let me get a little paper towel, hold on. You know, when you're used to doing something a certain way, it's kind of hard to get to do it any other way. I just soak my cilantro, which is this, and my spinach, which is that, and then I know that it's soaked in some soda water, and I know it's good. Boy, that cilantro, you can smell it today. I love a quiche that has spinach in it. Yesterday I did y'all a wonderful video. I did pan-fried tilapia with fettuccine noodles and fresh spinach mixed in with a sauce and some yellow squash and some asparagus. Well, I got the video done and I had recorded it in slow motion, so it didn't have any sound and everything was just really slow. I was kind of PO'd about that because that was going to be a good video, even though I can kind of use it maybe for like marketing or just slow motion, you know. We'll just kind of chop our spinach and cilantro together. I want this to be more of a greens kind of quiche because I think we all need this spinach. It's good for Mother, it's good for me, it's good for you. So just chop it. And if they peek out underneath over the eggs, I even think it looks nicer even that way. So now we're just going to put that in our bowl. Like that. Yeah, the storm levels that have been popping up really are horrifying because all these poor people are being killed, and I'm just so sorry for their families and them, the states and everything being torn up. But it's just part of life, and that's been going on ever since I've been here. Okay, so I've got our onions and our spinach, and we'll set that aside for just a little bit. I'm going to use a pre-made crust. These are those Pillsbury, and I'm trying to do things for y'all that's easy for you, and for myself too. So we'll just take our Pillsbury crust, get our little glass tart pan, quiche pan, And just unroll that. Set it down in there. Get it right in the middle if you can. You've got that little edge on there, so it'll be alright because it will give you a, let me get it down in there. You can do these, and I might sometimes show you, or you may know it already, how to do them with a flour tortilla. And that's a real easy way of doing a quiche breakfast. I just kind of get that down in there like that. And then I'll just take my deal and I'll just kind of pull that on around. Make sure it's, I like the little fluted edge. So I push down and push in. That's the way I do. I use 2 fingers and 1 hand and cup it with the other. And that usually will, you can push that on down so you have a thicker neck on that. Yeah, easy y'all. I'm not doing any meat in this today. I'm doing a vegan so that, because we got all that spinach into that. So now just flatten that and that'll bake down to where that's a thicker crust to get out of your pan. Okay. I'm just going to flick it because I do. You don't have to because you're not blind baking this, but there's our crust. It's ready. Here's our bowl. Let's put us some potatoes, hash brown potatoes in that. Let's get us about, not a lot because that's a small, that's a dainty quiche pan, so we'll just do a small portion. I'm going to take my thick and chunky salsa because I want this to have just a little zip to it today. So I'm going to get about a tablespoon, heavy tablespoon. Might do a tablespoon and a half of your chunky salsa. Okay. Now, just kind of mix that around in that. We'll go ahead and put us some salt to taste. I do about a teaspoon and a half teaspoon. Do a little bit of pepper. Get that just kind of marinating together there. Okay. Now I'm going to get, I think I'm going to do 3 eggs because these eggs, look how huge these eggs are. It's crazy, isn't it? How big those eggs are. So we'll do 3 eggs. Shell. Okay. Well, them shells are, like I told y'all before, after the pandemic, I couldn't break an egg without getting the shells in it. Put these in the trash. Rinse my hands off. Rinse my little, I love them cutting boards because they come with these little mats, and if you've got fish or something and you don't want to get that down on your wooden cutting board, you use them. And they're just a lifesaver of cleanup. You know me and my cleanup. Gotta have everything kind of in order. I'm gonna put just a little bit of milk in that before I whip them. I'm gonna use my little whisker here, my little Quiche whisker. Well, that little whisker, I love that little whisker. Kind of like a pogo stick. You just push it and it does what it's supposed to do. I like to fluff them a little bit. Get them mixed real good. There we go. Get all that off there. Okay. Now then. Get that just kind of over. I'm going to put some cheese, my Mexican style cheese, into the bottom of this. Just kind of seals it together. When that cheese melts, it kind of just holds your crust together, I think. There we go. I know y'all probably wonder why I haven't been doing lives and all that, because my life has been so absorbed with medical appointments and my mother, and then my sister fell and like to broke her neck, and plus the internet. So just as soon as everything kind of slows down and gets back to order, after I was going to try to do a live here pretty soon and see if the internet's any better. If it is, then we'll continue. Okay, we're just going to add our egg mixture to our spinach. And potatoes, all that's in there. Now we'll just get those, get that spinach, all that coated real good with your eggs mixture. And then we'll just put it into our pan. Kind of spread that. Don't want to waste nothing. You know, you just don't waste nothing. Now that will have that green. See how beautiful that is? That'll get them kind of down underneath there. But that'll get your vegetables and egg mixture, and that'll fluff up some. Get that off there. That'll get that off there. And I'm just going to put a little bit on top of my cheese. Not a whole bunch, but I've already got the coffee made. Now we're just going to wait on the quiche and have a cup of coffee. Okay, let me make sure that looks okay. Now we're going to put that in our oven for 350 degrees for, I'm going to do convection, so I'll probably do it 15, but we'll see. I'll be back. Okay, well the ovens are gone off. Let me get my hot pads and get our quiche out. Get our quiche out. Set it right there. Put the oven closed. I already got a cup of coffee. So there's our quiche. It turned out quite nice. I'll let that cool just a minute or two. It's firm, that's what you want. Crust is cooked, but what I do is I have some of these crust that you put on your pies to keep your crust from burning. I take a piece of foil and I put it, and then I lay that on my quiche or pie while it's baking, and then I take it off for about the last minute or so, especially in the convection oven, and that keeps the cheese and everything from burning on top, because in those convection ovens or small ovens, they'll burn real quick. So you have to be careful about that. We can just take that, see? It's still pretty warm. Should let it cool, but due to the video, I'm gonna just cut it so that we can put that one out there. Let me get a plate. Oh, there we go. So, there's our egg and spinach, cilantro quiche, cup of coffee. I don't know what else you'd want any better than that for an early morning breakfast. Very healthy. So, I guess we'll talk to y'all pretty soon. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. And I do wish y'all was here for a cup of coffee and some quiche with us this morning. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.